I agree with that again. But I think doing a service that makes money requires a bit more than just doing a service. It requires more than wanting to make money. I think we have to have there's a way of thinking, a way of being. I keep saying the same thing because I truly believe I had to change fundamentally, Mike, from who I was in almost every aspect. I can still remember the look on my coach's face, my mindset coach's face. Maybe it was my business coach's face about 25, 30 years ago. But I had the same dumb attitude, dumb approach. And so I didn't learn from the business coach. Actually, I learned in hindsight. I didn't learn at the time. My mindset coach was just like, what are you talking about half the time? If you're crazy, you're totally lost. And I was lost. I had to essentially reframe most of my thinking about money to get to where I am today. And today, yes, it's about family. It's about a lot of things that we'll do what we'll do. But look, yesterday I got a call from my mechanics, Mercedes-Benz specialist saying, your car is kaput, your car is dead. I'm like, that's heartbreaking, isn't it? Yeah. What do we do now? Well, I get another car. Today I got another car. Yeah. That's the joy I'm feeling. That's the joy of having money. That's maybe you call it wealth. It's how you have money, right? But this doesn't start from today. It starts from years ago. It starts from what we do every day. And then we'll become that person who makes money. And as we talked about yesterday, Mike, the people who make money just make more money. Those who don't. What is going on? How can that be, right? Anyway, I think it's our thinking. I think it's our attitude.
There's two things. One, I'm going to say there are gatekeepers to, and I'm not saying it's that you can't make money, but there are gatekeepers to wealth building. So you have to, for example, and I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't want to be negative, but there are there's something called an accredited investor in the United States. So if I want to do pre-IPO, which there's a lot of money to be made in pre-IPO investments, but you have to be an accredited investor. Now, normally that means you have to have $1 million in the bank or a combined income of 220,000. So before you can even invest at all. So is that fair? I don't know. But to your point, you have to have that money in order to make significant money during an IPO. So there is some gatekeeping there. But my point is, well, then find another way.
Yes.
That's,
I agree.
So you can't let, and this goes back to maybe what you were trying to get at with poverty. To me, it's a mindset poverty, not a money set poverty. Because yes, you don't have money in the bank, but if you don't, if you believe, and again, you have to have a skill. So it's not just pure belief, but and then to your point, maybe you get a mentor for free at first, and then eventually get a coach, once you can afford one, and just launch. So I guess I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that there are certain things that that are gate kept, and so, but you have to figure out a way around that. Under, over, around.
Yes. I agree. That's where Michael says, if the money is like water or our mind is like water. He'll say those words today before we go on show. But no, let me not have a go at Michael. Sean, what are you thinking, my friend?
Well, to begin with, I would say money isn't just numbers. I see it as a mirror because it reflects how deeply one trusts their own value.
Yeah.
And how willing, this goes on Mike's comment about confidence, how willing you are to express it. You know, we could see if you have a shortfall of money, it's actually highlighting a shortfall of confidence. And actually, most of the gatekeepers that really affect most people are right here. Right? They're internal. Because I know of groups, I know of collaborations and communities that they don't even care about the gatekeeper. Like, let them have their gatekeeper. It's like a gate, it's like a bouncer at a door for an empty room. Like, through collaboration, community, and innovation, who cares about the gatekeepers? Yeah, they're systemic. It's the old financial situation, or the old financial system, that it's losing ground all the time. I would say in 2025, I've seen this over and over and over. Little nod to Melanie. Trust is the most important currency today, which isn't about transactions.
I'll take that, my friend. Trust is very important. I mean, trust in ourselves, trust in the world, which is, I guess, our mindset, our take on the world. You know, Mike will talk about abundance and scarcity. I think, you know, all that comes into it. You know, of course, I would add joy to that as well. I'm sure Mel would too, for sure. When it comes to what brings everything that's good, Sean. Yeah, but I totally agree with you. I think money or lack of says a lot about us, much more than the numbers do. You know, so many people. Well, let me talk about me instead. Yeah, it's all about me. You know, so for a long time, I thought I believed in my business. I really believe. I wanted to do marketing. I think here's the quirk, Sean, and everyone who's here, right? You know, of course I want to do marketing. People need marketing. They do. Digital marketing, they can't do it properly, right? They need it. They will pay me to do it. Yeah, they will pay me, but never in enough numbers, never enough for me to make my leaky bucket. My leaky bucket is a simple word. It's a shortcut for saying losing customers, expenses, you know, losing money, customers that don't pay you. You know, and of course there's all the customers that you didn't get, and the sales that you didn't get, that you didn't close. See, you know, trying to make sense of why all that was happening. You know, it was an eye opener, but you know, that's something I should say, Sean. It meant looking within. So again, if you know, I can go back to when we lose a customer. This is, you know, again, for those who are listening, this is what I mean by we run away from money, right? Why money? Why did prospects say no? Oh, because what I have is not good enough. Yes, maybe not, right?
No, I was gonna say, Annie,
Go on, Sean.
it's usually because you don't believe in it enough.
Exactly. Now, truly, you know, let's say it took me a long time to work it out. Again, I thought, of course I believe. What do you mean I don't believe? Of course I do. I'm doing this every day. Of course I wake up and I do just this, right? I must believe. But then you realize it just takes like half a percent, 99.9%, literally, where under the 0.1% of doubt in your head. And we know when we feel that. We know because sometimes it can be a subconscious, but deep down we know when we doubt ourselves, right? I think right. We have to be honest enough to face up to ourselves, and if we have that doubt, to work on it. Sure, I think we must. But many people don't work on these things; they just let them be, right? You know, there's so many more things I could mention. I hope we'll come out in a wash. before we leave today, right? So that self-doubt, that lack of trust in yourself. I think between you and Mike, you mentioned having a skill, having something that people actually want to buy. I think all three of us have mentioned that so far. There are many people don't really have a thing that they have nothing unique. I'm not going to bash you for being yet another content writer, yet another coach, but I'm going to bash you for not finding the thing that your customers really need. That's what I'm bashing people for, right? Not doing the extra work. And sometimes, let me say this now because I'll say it sometime today, right? You're gonna have to want to make money to focus on the right things in business. That's my point, right? Just run away from that.
You have to truly want it, like you said.
Truly want it. That's it, Sean.
Pull all those old roots. I have this question to ask for everybody to ask. When you quote your price, or when you pitch your value or raise prices, which part of you feels threatened? The entrepreneur, or your inner child who's afraid of rejection, or your inner child that believes, the only way to get to the path is to work hard and put in, 16-hour days and grind yourself into the dirt?
You're taking it somewhere. Yeah, Dr. Paula, I'll come to you for sure, right? Dr. Paula, please, what's your take?
Well, when I first started in business after corporate 26 years ago, I don't know if it was the inner child or whatever, but it was lack of confidence that people would want to pay what I'm worth. So it took a while to gain that confidence and demand it and expect it. Then women in business and fighting for contracts, and we get less than our counterparts and so forth. That was challenging as well, doing the same work and not getting paid at the level we need to get paid. Now, fast forward to today, I have no question or any kind of feeling about asking for what I deserve. And I'll walk away. I have no problem doing that either, because you're not my client, and that's fine. I'll refer you to somebody else. But I don't nickel and dime it because I'm worth more than that. And what I learned through experience is that when we devalue ourselves, everybody else will. They expect to pay a certain price as an investment because they are looking at you as an expert, given what you've done and the years that you've done it, and the all of the examples and success that you've had, and the people that you've helped. But if you show up insecure or lack of confidence, and you're already throwing out lower pricing and so forth, you have just killed the deal. And so what I realize is just be yourself and just go with it. And if they can afford it, fine. If they can't, they won't. Because the word afford in the client's mind is how they think. In my mind, it's an investment. So if this investment is not going to work for you, that's fine. Maybe not today, or maybe I have another program that you can DIY, and you can do that one. But wherever the client is, or wherever the individuals are, that's where I meet them, but I don't lower who I am. And I'm very, very strong on that without compromise. I have no problem asking for it at all. I did it when I started, but over the years, you learn, you grow, and you become an adult. Well, I became an adult. I'm not talking about we, it's me. I became an adult. I grew up and all of these things. So 26 years later, I better not be shrinking back about my prices or anything that I have to do, because then nobody would have any faith and trust in who I am. No, it's not happening. Not today.
And Paula, that price point is basically you standing on what your value is, and if you don't, then it's a race to the bottom.
Exactly. And that's why coaches aren't making money, people aren't making money. One of my things is to help people make money. I love to do it. I come across anyway. That's another story, but that's exactly it, because they automatically go to the table with all of this negative stuff in their head. So now the energy is not coming as to let's come together, see how I can serve you. Well, let's just have a conversation. I had a conversation with a coach this morning, and we just had a great time. We didn't really try to sell each other anything because that wasn't the purpose of the conversation. Would I buy from her? Absolutely. Would she buy from me? Absolutely. We bought each other's book while we were sitting there. So, but I'll send referrals to her, and I may even use her for something. But the thing is, when you go to the table and both of you are experts, she's been in business 30 years. So, hey, we're both on the same level. Now what? But every leader needs a leader.
Mm.
You know, we all need that next person to
Come on.
challenge us
Yeah,
up to
yeah,
the
we
next
all
level.
need that. We all need that mirror, Paula,
Absolutely. You
right?
know,
To call out our blind spots
yes, because
because
I
we
know
all
I
got
have.
them.
I
all
know
got
I
'em.
have.
We all
And
got them.
I know how to avoid stuff too. So
Yeah, and
that's why I don't
I
want to
actually
do it.
came up with a new talk idea, Annie. This is a side note. My new talk idea. You suck, and that's okay.
I saw that the other day. I saw that the other day. Yeah.
Well,
So
I was on a summit. I was on a leadership summit,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking about sucking. And if we don't admit that I suck at something, then we stay trapped. We stay stuck.
Absolutely. Yep.
And on the pricing thing, the common argument is my self-worth. What am I worth? What do I deserve? What if that has nothing to do with it? It's about the value you're providing, the transformation that you're
Exactly.
bringing. It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly. And
You know what?
Mm.
Because
and
here's
if
the
we can
reality.
take ourselves out of it, if we can
Mm.
take ourselves out of it, and it's not about me, it's about the service we're giving someone else or offering them an opportunity to invest in themselves, then it's not about us. So this is what
Right.
it's going to cost. Either you're going to pay for it or you're not. No problem.
Yeah. Because if I price based on my worth, and if
You
you
can't
really
pay
price
for it.
it,
I'm priceless.
nobody can afford it.
No, they can't afford me.
See,
I'm priceless. I can't afford me, right? Well,
You
put it
see-
this way. I'm priceless. So there you go. So it's going to take me to get a long time to get to where I need to be.
You see, I think people have a different problem about price, especially when you're a small business, a startup, right? Now, the thinking that I think we need to quell as much as anything else. No, so everything that we talk about is useful, right? So part of the toolbox. I think that the thought that's nearly ruined me was they can't afford it.
Yep.
And I thought of that that was my excuse for lowballing for years. Say lowballing is I took it to extreme. So when I started my business, Coach David, I'm going to come to you in a second, my friend. Literally 10 seconds. So when I started my business, my price was £150, so that's $200 for all the marketing you need: social media, ads, SEO, everything, email marketing, everything you need. And after we sat down and told Annie, you've been stupid. If you work a whole month and have clients every day, how much are you going to make? Like £3,000? Yeah, for $4,000, you look at it that way, right? And they said, is that enough? No, of course it's not. And what's your health going to be like? So I'll probably be dead. Then you realize lowballing is not the way. But I carried that on till maybe even 2 years ago. I'm being honest. I'm saying literally 2 years ago, I'll still argue with you. I don't raise my price because they can't afford it. I want to be a charity. I'm not a charity. I'm a business. Damn. That's what my coach said, right?
Well, and here's the reality.
Can I
Andy.
just
If
Yeah.
real quick, David, and I'll give it all to you.
What's up interrupting you, my friend?
If I charge a higher price for the right clients who won't question it. They'll think it's a bargain. They're like, what? It's only $10,000 a month? Okay. Like, that's a steal. They won't question it. They won't try to lowball you. Because like Mike said, if you keep dropping, it's a race to the bottom.
It is.
But
It is.
if I have enough from the high-end clients, then I have the money to do, I have the freedom to use my time to serve at a lower cost or pro bono even.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm struggling, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my light bill.
If you don't exist, you
I
can't
can't
serve
serve
anyone.
anybody. I can't serve anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Coach David, please share with us, my friend. Welcome on the stage.
Yes, very interesting conversations. Thank you, everyone. Paula, hi, Mike, Sean, Emmy. Just a quick one I just like to say is that all of pricing is psychology in the market. For most of the big brands, as we know, the cost of real production is always very low. Some cases less than 10%. Most of the Apple phones were created with something less than $100, then they sell for 1,200 at launch, at times 1,500, 600, 700. But the cost of production, the hardware on the commodity side, is very low. So the understanding that value is a different conversation aside production, because a lot of people who are service providers and how the human mind works starts with programming efforts. Your light bills, like Sean said, it's all about you bringing product to the market. But when you leave your production compound and your supply chain machines and you go into the market, some other kinds of conversation comes into the table. You begin to deal with the finishing of the product, the worth in the marketplace, alternatives to your products, access to those who can say $10,000 is a deal, the kind of clients you're marketing before. It becomes a selling game, not a production game. It becomes a best-selling game, just like I always say about books, about best-selling author, not best writing author. So the entire energy and the flip of that energy is something the entrepreneur must manage. Inside the business, it's a production and costs management game. Outside that, right, there is a negotiation game. It's a competitive, intelligent.
Lost coach. What happened? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coach, hopefully you'll come back. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. It's not my screen that froze this time. That's cool. No, so I was liking what Coach is saying, because I think it is those two things. Say, well, we have to cover the cost of production first of all, right? Otherwise, we're losing. We're sunk. Bankruptcy awaits you if you don't cover your core costs, at least, right? And of course, again, I think that's requires a mindset of its own. The question I'm asking is, what are we creating? Again, it took me a long time to realize, if I don't create what the market wants, what people need, what actually helps people, then we're going nowhere. And then the selling game, of course, I hope that's what Dr. Paula just talked about, right? Coach, welcome back. Say,
Sorry, what was the last line? Let me just round up. What was the last line?
You're explaining that, say, we have to bear the production game and then play the selling game, and make sure that
production on the inside, selling on the outside. Within the business is a production game, cost reduction. The conversation is best possible cost strategy. But when you get into the market, it becomes a competitive value game. Alternative products in the market space, who is the kind of customer you're talking to? Are you selling low end, mid end, high end? That switch is very powerful, and many entrepreneurs fail to make it. You're coming from production. The energy of production in your mind, we have to switch energy literally. It's an energy switch. And for skilled people, that energy switch is the skill to master. Because in the market space, the strategic thinking is the value of the pain. How much relief did you bring? What is the worth of that relief? not the man-hour rate, which is the traditional medical doctor pain. What is the cost of the pain? How much would you give for the toothache to go away? That is the way to think in the market. But the agrarian industrial era taught us man-hour rates, which is where coaches are stuck today. What is the worth of that clarity? What is the codification of that for you? There was any 1.0 and then any 2.0. What is the worth of that 2.0 guy as an installed capacity? I yield the mic. Thanks, guys. I'm enjoying all of this. Annie, you're muted. You're muted, Annie.
Okay, so no, thank you for coming back, Coach David. Great points there, my friend. I'm sure we're going to address them as we go. Felisa, welcome. Look, you've made my day. See, I got Felisa and Dr. Paula here today. They're my two new best friends. Yeah, they'll soon find out.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Sorry I'm late, but I had another
Right.
meeting. I finished that meeting and jumped right on here.
You're not, you're never late for our events, my friends. Truly. If you give me a minute of your time, I appreciate it. The same as if you give me 3 hours. We're not going to be 3 hours today, I promise you. Let's try and do an hour and a bit, and then we can go for enjoy our night, right? So Mr. Calm, I'm coming to you next. Let's come to you, Mr. Calm. I'm sure you're going to give us a different point of view, but maybe not. Maybe not. If you're looking for a frame,
I'll be short for sure.
No. Here's a frame for you. Dr. Marcia asked a question: does working smart equate to working hard? Try that, everyone. Let's go from there from going forward, right? Unless you got a different point of view, then you feel free. Go on, Mr. Carl.
Tackle that.
So, does working smart equate to working hard?
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Carl, please explain. You can't just say no and then leave it there, right?
Working smart is an energy saver.
Exactly.
Working hard is not an energy saver.
Exactly.
And you have to know the difference. Because I know the difference because I did it. I'm sure a lot of people also did the same thing, but in my case, it nearly took my life. I want to make more money. So in order to make more money, I decided I need to work harder. Working harder, putting more hours. That way, the money multiplies over a short period of time because I'm actually, instead of putting 8 hours, I'm actually putting in 20 hours, maybe 24 hours. No, 20 hours is when it was plenty enough. And over the course of a few months, my health deteriorated significantly. Nearly killed myself doing that. So no, I lost a lot of energy. I lost a lot of, and when I say I lost a lot of energy, what I mean is I've lost future energy. In other words, I aged myself physically. I may not look it, but internally, my cells have become even more tired. They don't regenerate the way they used to. My body, my muscles don't function the way they used to. And they don't function the way they're supposed to. I feel like as if I am 20 years older. Physically. I look like I'm younger. The way I act, the way I move, the way I actually function physically. It's like a 70-year-old. 70, 75, possibly someone who's burgeoning onto 80. It's not, yeah, That's it's that yeah. So to shorten, yeah, like that's how I can explain it. I felt it. I've done it. You lose more than you can actually ever imagine. So working smart is definitely the way to go. It's up there on the number one most critical things that you got to do in your life, for your life, for your health as
What
well.
does that mean for us, Michael? And as people who are here, what can we take away from what what are you suggesting or
Invest,
advising? Or
invest, invest time thinking about what you really want to do and how you really want to get it. Because if you choose the wrong path, the consequences could be devastating. You may not be here tomorrow. That's what it means
we take that for
by
sure. I
working
think we take
smart
that.
versus working hard. I'm sure the others can actually answer, give you
Yeah,
good answers with respect to
Yeah,
that as
I
well.
have
And I'm sure they've got their own take as well.
yeah. It was something like the comments are suddenly blown up, at the question. Well done, Dr. Marcia. Great question. Dr. Paula, talk to us. What's your take on this, my friend?
well, what I've learned over the years is to be strategic about everything and also to stay focused on my niche market and not be concerned what everyone else is doing. I know what I need to do for me and how to move my business. I know what programs, how to execute, and what my market is looking for and when they're looking for it. So it's up to me to be strategic about how I want to lead my business and how I want to lead my life. And if I don't, then there's the other consequences, which I experienced earlier in earlier years. And the, that's the thing about strategy. It's like your best friend. It's the only thing that you have that you can really take time and sit and think. I work with my clients and I have a whole time mastery thing I give them. And every week they have think time just to allow their brain to think and decompress. And they do exceptionally well. They make more money because they're more relaxed. And they don't have to work hard. It comes to them instead of them running after it. And it's a lot easier as well as for myself as well. And it's something that I've learned over the years, and I put it in my new book that I just launched out in June, the Encore Playbook, and I put it in there about that as well. Because as you mature in your business, it's like a tennis player. The mature tennis players don't run around on the court. They stand there, they know where the ball's coming, and that's that. And they hit the ball, and that's it. Well, that's where we're going. When you're new in business, you're going to be running around. As time goes on, you don't have to.
I accept your points entirely. I really do. So, of course, do share the link for your book in the comments. I'm coming to you next, Felisa. I think the question that's going through my mind was, what is working smart? I think it's so many different things, right? Now, some people will say to you today is ChatGPT. It's not. I truly maintain it's not. Yes, you can do some things faster with ChatGPT. Don't get me wrong. Elaine, I see you laughing hard in the audience. You laugh hard, my friend. It's all right. Elaine is our public speaking coach and project management genius. I'm glad you're here. Michelle, I see you too. Welcome. I'll come to your comments in good time. Anyone else that I've missed? I don't think I have so far. If I have, please forgive me. Basically you're not here on my StreamYard, so I can't get to you until I look on my LinkedIn. Right. Felisa, what's your take? So Dr. Paula mentioned two things about working smart, which I agree with. I'm sure we all do. Maybe you don't, right? No, so being relaxed. I say live and enjoy. Now, if you can live in joy, you can work smart, you can work, everything's easier. That state of flow we get into, where everything just does and it works, right? Rather than the other place where we're stressed and things go wrong. But the other thing Dr. Paula mentioned, which I think is worth emphasizing this. This is mastery. Know your trade. Damn, know your trade. You don't know your trade, you can't do it quicker. You can't do it smarter. Now the plumber will get paid by the hour. The gas man will get paid by the hour. And I never do that, by the way. I say to them, here's what we've agreed. As long as it takes you, you go do it. That's what I demand of my clients of me too. Don't pay me. You're not paying me by the hour. You pay me to do the job, right? Get the result you want. I can do it quicker. Good on me. And that's working smart. So the hours don't count, from my personal opinion. Felicia, please share with us. And tell our friends about you and about your books too.
Okay. I'm Felicia Deaver. I am a business owner. I've been a business owner almost 21 years. I'm an ex veteran. I served in the U.S. Army before I started my businesses. And now I'm working on one of my businesses, PMD Services. I love to speak and talk to people and help people. So in this business, that's what I'm doing. I'm coaching. I'm just saw today that I'm getting interviewed in the morning for a TEDx talk. I applied for a few and some people contacted me. So getting ready to do a TEDx talk. And see, my main business, we're a low voltage contractor. Then I have 3 real estate businesses with commercial real estate. And then this one, PMD Services. But I believe if you enjoy what you do, you'll go to work and you'll learn how to work smarter and not harder. Because I look at my husband in our main business, he works so much. But it's so hard to find good people, technicians that want to work these days. And I don't like the way he worked because I think I agree with the first person that spoke about working and tearing your body down. I think he's tearing his body down working like that. But it's hard to find people since COVID that want to work. Everybody want to barely do anything and get paid. And that's not the case. So I believe in working smarter, not harder, finding ways to do things where you're not working so much so you're missing out on things in life. That's my take on it.
Thank you. As Sean says, thanks for your service. I didn't know there's an H. Well, people who spell names, they do, right? Felicia. Now I know, right? If it was a C, I would know. It's a Sha, not an S. I learned something new. Look, of course we accept your point entirely.
I'm also interested in learning how your husband could leverage AI in his business as well to help him with the loss of people coming into work. If he's actually doing that is.
What do you mean if?
He's not. I use AI, but he's not using it. I don't know how to get him to use AI in this business.
I had a feeling we're going to get sidetracked about the AI conversation, but that's not where the answer is at. Really, I assure you. Anyway, now Felicia, as Sean says, thank you for your service, from a fellow vet.
Thank you.
I didn't know that, Sean, but now I do, right? And Felicia certainly is making money, right? Because she got all these businesses, and I'm being with myself, right? You're allowed to roll your eyes, Felicia. It's all right. I'm just being funny, right? It's good on you. And that's good on you. Truly, I think a lot of people these days don't want to work at all. Felicia, they don't. Never mind not wanting to work hard. They start a business. They think it's just going to work itself. They think, if I think the good thoughts, then that's it. No. You actually have to work and do. I know. Mike says if you're working hard, you're doing it wrong. And partly true to a degree. I'm saying, but you have to work hard sometime. If not, if you're not working hard yourself, you better pay people to work hard for you. That's the truth. But if you pay people to work hard for you, that's working smart. But you need a lot of money to pay them, especially those who don't want to work. Felicia, this is what drives me crazy every day, right? It gives me a headache, and I just fire them. I'm like, whatever, and I can do it myself. Go away, and that to me, that's partly working smart. And Elaine says also, thank you for your service to keep us safe as well. So Sean, I can see you, Sean. I've been dying to come to you. So all right, share with us. What do you think?
So I've got a couple things. I've talked, I speak to a lot of people in Japan and China. Japan, they actually made up a term. It's called karoshi, which is literally translate working yourself to death, on the back of Michael's comment. And in China, they work what's called 996. It's 9 hours a day. I can't remember what it's from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week.
Wow.
And Michael's exactly right. If you're just grinding like that, you're burning yourself up. And recovering and getting things back, it is possible, but it's gonna take a lot of work. So I'm gonna challenge this a little bit. They're not exclusive, right? You can work smart. You got your strategy, you got your efficiency, but you still got to put in effort. It still takes real effort to build the business, to build strength, or you're going to hit a ceiling. If you work only hard, you're putting in lots of hard time and hours and effort. You'd be busy, right? How many people say, oh, I can't do that. I'm busy. I'm working like Felisa's husband. And I know what she's saying. I don't know if he's doing the service side. My sister-in-law has a home renovation and repair business in North Carolina on the Outer Banks. Her revenue is well over $1 million. She tells us all the time she has such a hard time finding people that will come in, stick around. She pays them well, she treats them well, but they come, they work 90 days, they're gone, or they don't want to take the job, or it's a tricky situation. But the sweet spot is the right amount of effort with the right amount of strategy. Because the other thing I see is sometimes we get all caught up in the strategy and the AI and the efficiency, and we do nothing.
I think I'm more concerned, Sean, by the way people look at AI. Right. I think all I can see is potentially de-skilling us, robbing us of our skills, and creating a false illusion of what we think we can do. And I say that from a business perspective, in that, yes, I want to pay you to do that thing faster, but I want you to be good at it. I want you to learn how to do it. I want you to know the theory, the principles. I want you to go through the process of learning how to do that. You can use AI to write mass emails. I'm saying, right, what good is that to me? If the system goes down tomorrow, we're screwed. I want you actually learn how to write emails and understand email marketing as a science, as a trade. You make this thing. It's not just throw emails out. Don't just write it. Don't do a blog that AI has written for you. Because I'm not going to be impressed, because I know what is missing. You know what's missing too. It's missing the human side, the reality that we can give through ourselves. So that's a different argument to that.
Well, and I always say it this way, Aini, and I totally understand your point, because the stats say a majority of people are using it as a more powerful search engine. They're asking it a question, getting an answer, or they're just using it as their content generator with just copy paste. I've even seen it. Like, would you like me to develop this further? I've seen it in posts and stuff, and I'm like, really?
They didn't even try. They didn't even try to read what the AI gave them. They just literally cut and paste and chucked it on, and that was it.
Right. Yeah. So I always say AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used well and powerfully, or it can be used badly. So my statement is it a cognitive enhancement or a cognitive replacement?
I fear it's a cognitive replacement.
For a majority, it is. Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it is.
That's a danger I see. Look, I use AI for things that I can't do without AI. Now, what do I mean? Essentially, for me, it's about making videos that I can't make otherwise, because I need a film crew, I need a location, I need all this stuff to make a video. My clients don't have that, and I don't solicit that from them. So AI that can make a stupid video of someone doing stupid stuff that we can't do otherwise. But even AI, as Mike would tell us, it's not good enough to do that right now. It does bits, but it can't do it well enough for us to, it's hard to make a film in AI. It can be done, of course, but you have to be very good at it and have very specialist systems. I'm saying for me to use ChatGPT and Sora to make a video, I know there's a chance one person might have 3 legs, for example, or 4 arms, which they do, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
And
I've seen some powerful work. I actually got the chance to meet a cinematographer from Hollywood who has developed the system, and I've seen his work, and he's basically created movies of historical stories that there were no cameras. So if you can imagine like Abraham Lincoln, a film of Abraham Lincoln giving the Gettysburg Address, and it looks real. So yes, it's possible. And I use AI mostly for research. Like I was doing research of my book and on, life after 50 and success rates, and AI can generate that report for me in way faster than I can. And I heard an AI expert at Stanford. He said it this way: think of AI as a freshly graduated intern who knows all the theory but none of the practice.
All the other way.
Right.
All of the contents, but none
Right.
of the
It needs a lot of guidance. It will
It
make
really does.
stuff up. It
really
will
does.
get things wrong.
It really does.
It will forget something you told it 3 chats ago.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Calm's come back. Excellent. Okay. So one sec. So Mike says working smart can at first be difficult, but working hard usually, meaning long hours, more stress, is unlikely to use success. I agree, Mike. Of course, I think we all agree with that, don't we? Yeah. So I think we complicate working smart. This is why I'm curious about this part of the conversation. So Lachelle, welcome. I don't know if I've mentioned the American Supermom. Glad you're here. I say if anyone spends a minute with us, especially you, given that you got all those kids and grandkids now to be caring for, and running your business, your media empire as well. And I say I believe in working smart, but working smart can be hard, but the smart component leads to multiplication of your efforts. I agree. Okay.
So obviously Lachelle works hard.
Of course, no, she really does. She really, really does. And so the fact, the success she's achieved, even just in her business, with her books, with her kids, it's remarkable. Truly, I got 1 kid to look after right now, and that's hard enough for me.
Hello, Annie.
Go on, coach.
Yeah. There's a sense in which people use working smart as working less. And or being outrightly lazy.
Yep.
There's the psychology of laziness in that it helps you to find genius. But in the long run, you can be lazy in the beginning. The hard work will catch up with you. There is no route. The only alternative to hard life is hard work. Even if you're passionate about what you're doing, like Phyllis said, and by the way, pleased to meet you. You are working longer hours, not knowing you're working longer hours. You're being stressed, not knowing, because you love what you're doing. And there's a whole, and thanks, Sean, for that balance and the question Annie asked. Hard work and smart work are not anathema to each other. In fact, smart strategy or heavy strategy or beautiful smart thinking will eventually lead to hard work. And hard, or let me say great work, not hard,
Yeah.
great work. And great work will introduce you to more thinking or more strategy. More strategy will give birth to greater work. Greater work to greater strategy. They are components and feedback of each other. If one chooses laziness or lack of effort, at any point in the divide, it will immediately show. And that may be the hubris that destroys the successful enterprise.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. So I'm typing your comments, which I just have to put up, right? Okay. So Coach David, even though my LinkedIn shows him to have gone down, but I'll worry about that in a second. Look, I think, of course, I'm equating smart work, hard work, whatever you're going to call it, to more money, which is why I say I'm excited. But my friends, what if smart work really is a mindset thing? What if smart work is simply having the care for our customers, the care to create a better solution? That's potentially what smart strategy looks like, right?
So eventually, it is immediately the work or great work.
Yeah, so I accept the point, my friend. I really do. My LinkedIn is telling me I have to do something else. Okay, I'll do something else. Right now, but let's come back a bit. I don't know whether we're going forward or coming back a bit, right? Yeah. What if more money does not require more work or harder work? Can we think our way to more money? I think we can. I think we have to.
Hold on, without working at all?
No, I think we it's not without working at all. We think we make money by working hard. That's our mistake. I thought exactly what everyone just talked about, what everyone just mentioned, right? That if I work hard, I'll make more money.
I hear you.
Then eventually, so I've come to realize, no, it's not about working hard. It's about thinking right, as you said, Coach. It's about thinking the right things. It's, when I ask the question, are you running away from money in your business? That's what my question really is, right? Are you moving away from money? Are you thinking your way out of money?
Yep. And can I just say something?
Oh, please feel free.
That word, one of the beautiful things that conversation is that it's like a banter. Now the word, so that's why I'm cutting you. Sorry about that. The word think, can you please change it to program? Can we program ourselves to more money? Let me give you an example about that subtle change. At the beginning of offering your product or service, your client doesn't know you. You're the consideration set. By the time they've done a year with you, you can start by giving them the best they can get. You can start putting them on a journey where they are programmed to become addicted to you. And that's smarter work. Wherein it's become a culture, and 2 years down the line, they become advocates and fierce, loyal people. And you build that from the first hour of interaction. You engineer the conversation. A quick illustration. I have a medical doctor close to me who complained about our long queues during clinic. She had very long queues. And she complained to me that because she's a very thorough person. So I told her what to do. I said, this is the principle. Give them an experience when they come. Give them an experience. Attend to them, program them, your voice and everything. Attend to them in a way that they are going to refer. That when they come out, you pack the interaction with psychomental energy and positivity that they will go outside and say, I met a doctor today. Give yourself 6 months to 1 year. The image of you taking long hours to attend to them will begin to wane, and the hospital will begin to reward you. Precisely, she found her name on the internet literally a year and a half later. O&G doctors who have changed your life. People began to tweet about her. That is programming in addition to customer service. You can, the same good morning, hello, Annie, how may I help you? I can go, Annie, good morning, how may I help you? How are you today? The weather. The idea is that I program you in the same interaction, not just service you. And that is greater work. So I wanted to just infuse that as an example.
That's what I mean. You're explaining it beautifully. I think, we need to get to, and so what your doctor friend did was create a better service for the clients. Essentially, you say we can think our way, but I think part of that thinking, yes, is about customer service, but I think it's also about, for me anyway, those ideas come to me when I truly think we need to make more money. We need more money. There was a day, like I told you where I started off in business. So let's say a year ago, I got to a place where I realized that I had to charge more. Of course, like I'm sure, like we all do. The need to charge more doesn't end, right? So the question I asked myself was simply, and maybe this is my question to all of you: when can I charge more? What has to happen?
You can charge more when you are able to treat your clients like you would like to be treated yourself. That's when you can charge more. Otherwise,
Please.
No way.
Yeah. Go on, please, feel free.
No, that was what
that was it.
was
Okay,
about.
so you can charge more when you need to treat.
Okay, treat them like you'd like to be treated yourself. In other words, what would you want to see? How would you like to be treated? I'm sure you'd like to be treated like a prince. So treat them like a prince. Treat them like a queen. Treat them like you would like to be treated yourself. When you start giving that treatment to everybody, then you can charge them what you want.
Yeah, but come. Some people, by the way, good to see your face. But some people don't know what it means to be treated like a king.
You see? And that
that's the employee problem. That's the employee problem, Larry. There.
That's the employee problem. You're trying to teach your employees to follow you.
Exactly.
Well, let them see you and then mimic you. That's all you do. The thing is, an employee only follows what he sees, what the CEO or the owner actually produces or gives. No more than that. If the employee doesn't see the owner doing that, sort it. I'm not going to do that. He's not doing it, so why should I do it? Well, he doesn't treat me like that, so why should I treat other people like that? Forget it.
That's deep. Thanks for that.
I'll come back to the pricing thing because I think the employee side is one way that we run away from money. I say that, but I'll explain in good time, right? I wonder, Sean, this idea that Michael's idea that give them the treatment they want. I don't know whether he's saying treat them right, treat them better, and they will pay you more, or whether he's along my line of thinking, give them a better solution and treat them better. The two must go together. You can't just do one or the other. Go on, Sean.
Right. What I was picking up as Michael was sharing is the traditional golden rule, right? do unto others as you would have them do to you. Treat others how you want to be treated. And Amazon has built, Jeff Bezos has built a huge company. The first focus is give the customer what they want, right? Make the customer experience the best we can. Get them their product, get it fast, have it high quality, all of that. Everything of Amazon is about that. I like the platinum rule that says treat people how they want to be treated. Because maybe I'm working with Paula and she doesn't want to be treated like I want to be treated. She has her own way of wanting to be treated. So if I'm got my finger on the pulse of how my clients want to be treated, then I can treat them the way they want to be treated, not necessarily the way I want to be treated. And on this money, tying it back to, are you moving away from money, right? Annie, and we were talking about smart versus hard work. So I've said it before what my billing rate is as a coach. Is it smart for me to spend an hour cutting the grass? No. I can do it, but I can get somebody who does it all day long. They're really good at it. They're really efficient at it. And I can let them do it. I can do a website. Don't want to. So, I could market my book. And when I get ready to market a book, guess who I'm going to? I'm going to do it. I'm going to call you up, Annie, and say, hey, bro, what do we got to do? Because that's your specialty. You can do it so much more efficient than I. And, there's the old adage, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, right? You can make millions of dollars. My sister-in-law does. They have a nice house. They have a new car every 2 years. I wouldn't say that she's working smart. She came to spend 8 days with us here in Guatemala. The phone was on her ear all 8 days because the business wouldn't run without her.
Yeah, it's a lesson, right?
I got my halo on because of the sunshine.
I don't know whether you're fading or you're back again. You're back to your normal self.
No, it's with the shift of the season, the sun comes in at a different angle. So
you used to have sun. I tell you, it's 11 o'clock, half 11 here. We don't have sun.
It's only 4:30 here.
Yeah, lucky you. Let's have to work on Saturday for tonight.
But Michael makes a good point. Employees at every level, they are simply mirrors of the ones above.
To a degree, Mike. To a degree, Sean. To a degree. And I'll tell you what I found. Let me work on Sir Stanley Green first. Now, if you haven't heard of Power Thinking, you need to go and know Sir Stanley Green. I'm going to show his video. This is one of my sponsors in good time. He shows it tonight. Essentially, it's bite-sized mindset, practice, and thinking. So it fits in our conversation today. Am I surprised he's not on stage? I'm sure one of the 7 principles of power thinking will talk about money. Maybe not, because most people don't want to talk about money, right? They're like, no, let's not mention it. Let's not mention it. Let's leave it. But we'll come back to the point in good time, right? Dr. Paula. I guess what's your take? Where do we get to mentally and physically in our business to be able to charge them more?
When you're confident in the value of what you have to offer and who you are. It has nothing to do with when do you get there or how do you get there. When you know that you offer the best of what you offer to your market, to your niche market, is focused on who you serve. When you know that, then you offer it. One of my clients I had who recently, about 3 months ago, he was been in business 5 years, whatever, and I doubled his prices, and he landed a $60,000 contract, which he's never landed. But he wasn't confident in charging his value until I walked him through a process, did a pricing strategy, redid his whole brand and all of that, you know, and everything like that. And he landed that contract, and that just lit him up. And he happened to, you know, the beautiful thing about it was his total confidence, everything about him changed. Because he realized, he said, well, I knew you believed in me, but I didn't know I didn't until he landed the deal. Of course, I had to help him with the contract. I gave him his pitch. I practiced with him and everything like that. And he went in there and nailed it. And I was so proud of him. And he's been off to the races ever since. So he was ready to do it, but he couldn't do it alone. And that's the whole thing. You have to believe in it. I had another client. She had an issue with money because of the way she grew up. So I would always talk six figures, and she would get nervous and pull back. So she's not going to generate any money until she got comfortable with finances. So we did. So one day her husband was walking by and he heard me say something to her. And he said, "Is that why she ain't making no money?" I said, "Yes." And he sat down in the session with us. And he said, "Well, first of all, Paula, I'm going to make sure this, and this gets taken care of. And from now on, I'm going to hold you accountable." And I thought it was wonderful. And he's an entrepreneur. He has his own business and stuff and had it for years, retired veteran. But it was so funny because he said, "I don't know why she works so hard and she don't get nothing. And she's working with you. Now I know it's not you, it's her." And it was so funny. The way he said it was so funny, but she needed that support from him to know that, because she was embarrassed. And so it worked out really well. Now, those things don't happen all the time, you know, but I'm just saying it's the internal conversation. It's how people are orientated and how they are introduced to money. I do a financial intelligence class that has nothing to do with all the tools and the checking account and all of this. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with being intelligent about how you want to manage this tool and what do you want this tool to do long-term, short-term, and in the interim. And how do you bridge the gap, and where are the emerging markets that you could tap into when your markets are slow? And so all those kind of things is what I do in my course, and it helps people's mind relax.
Damn. All right, lady. What? You got a book, right? Shit.
More than one book.
Okay, she got books. All right. I gotta hook myself. Damn, that was something. Woo! I really love that. Yeah. Bring her back. Bring her back, Annie.
Well, you know, this event is any smart working. I bring my friends to events rather than me try and sell to them. They see what I do, read, and they're like, "Yeah, I want a show like that." That's why I bring Dr. Paula. That's why I bring Felicia here today, right? Truly, you know, I say, you know,
Dr. Paula, Annie cannot talk to me about money, but you, I think you can swindle me out of a few bucks.
You don't listen. That's your problem, right? You know, you come out with your funny things. You know,
I know, and I argue with you. But this
I'll leave that for now. Let's leave that for now. Look, that's there is Sean, and I think you hit the right point, Sean. Your current pricing reflects who you were when you set them up. And who you are today is nothing. You know, we rarely reflect our progress, our greater value that we give. You know, I love when Dr. Paula says, "When you know, you know, you know." I love that. I heard that so much even when I was learning about mindset. I'm still learning about mindset, but I love because you know that you know, right? That's, you know, there's probably one more you know in there that we need to go, right? And that's true certainty, right? That's true belief in yourself, true sense in your worth. You know, Felicia, of course, Felicia and Dr. and Coach David. Again, I'd love to know your thoughts, right? You know, when do we increase our price? I mean, Felicia, you must have some number. You must have some idea, right? Coach, let's do ladies first, and I'll come to you, my friend.
Yeah.
I agree with Dr. Paula. You must know your worth. And I agree with everything she said. And she's got me blown away. I want to also find out more about her financial intelligence course because I teach people on finance. I teach you on 3 things. I teach you on investing in yourself. And as a woman, I'm a mother, a wife, a grandmother. I have 8 grandchildren. I have the businesses, and I'm also an ordained minister where I'm active in ministry. And people are always asking me, how do you do all of this? Well, first of all, it's a grace God has placed on my life as an entrepreneur because I'm supposed to help people, which I do help a lot of people. And when they see all the stuff that I have, they ask, how did you get this? Well, first I get everything because I gotta give God glory. He's been really good to me. And finances is where we help people and people see what I got and they ask me a lot of questions. And so I have some courses I teach on finances. I teach on investing in business, investing in yourself, and investing in others. And so with me, as a mother, a wife, a grandmother, and all the stuff I do, I used to didn't take care of myself. And part of investing in yourself is taking care of yourself so you can live a long life. What is it to make all of this and then you can't do anything because you wore your body out because everyone pulls on you. So I'm in agreement with what Dr. Paula said. It's just I'm blown away with some of the stuff. I'm like, wow, I need to get that. I see she put it in the chat. I need to get your financial intelligence course and look at it. Or if you got
well, let's schedule a call. I just put the link in there. Let's connect because I saw you at the event yesterday. Eric's event.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking next month in January there.
Oh, wonderful! I'll be there.
I'll be. Are you speaking too in January?
No, not at that January one. I'll be speaking next year, but I'll be there to see all of you.
So are these in-person events that you're talking about, or are they online events?
No, Eric's event.
Eric's
event. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be there at the event this week.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Zara, and then I found out about me, and she told me, you make sure you get in contact with Annie. He's going to help you. He's very good. And I said, okay.
He is.
Thank you. You're going to start making me blush, right? If I start going red, it's what it is. Sean, I love this. Resentment is the invoice your soul sends when your value is underpriced. Or when you have a negative view of your clients. We say when you go with they can't afford it. They never pay me what I'm worth.
Yep.
That thing, the resentment is what goes before you for the invoice you send them. I guess I had to come back a long way to stop judging my clients, to pretend that I know what's in their heart. And you know what? As Sean said earlier, suddenly they pay your invoice with joy. And it's like, really? And even when you raise your price, as Dr. Paula just said, they pay you with joy. It's like, wow, this is the life, right? But it took me years to get there. Many people, they don't get there. I don't know. I could go saying you mentioned some of the reasons why. Coach, what's your take, my friend? What's your take?
Yep. On how do you know when to change your price, right?
Yes.
Okay, there are different kind of behavioral patterns. Your customer is your value engine. Watch them. Listen to them. They will tell you a lot and give you honest feedback. For example, customers will say things like, when is your next lot? When is your next lot? How quick are you coming back again? When can I be with you again? I need to book more time. Anytime demand outpaces supply. That's the first key for me. When you have more people needing your service, when demand outpaces supply. Number 2, when you've gotten higher value reputation, when people or more people are talking about you, going to higher platforms. Felisa is going to speak at that event now. Her value is deepening. She's getting known by more audiences. People saying, oh, I know you, I met you. These are subtle signs that the industry begins to acknowledge you deeper. And by the way, Dr. Paula, thanks for that. I am totally blown away. Some very deep things you said there. The other thing is when your ID clients are saying yes too easily, when you put a price on the table and people are no longer negotiating, there comes a time when they stop negotiating. The same person who used to negotiate hard and deep suddenly stops negotiating too hard and deep. In fact, I've seen a client tell me once, Coach David, I think I'm going to now put in 3 of my daughters because I coached our first daughter how to get her first job. Then she said, I actually have 3 of my daughters, and there's another cousin of theirs that will join them. And there's a young man who also needs your counsel. In fact, for that young man, his case might be difficult. I'll pay you extra. Aha. Something told me, well, I think this thing is working. In Ghana, there's a joke about Ghanaian English. In Nigeria, we say it's working. In Ghana, they're working. There is this long, and when you hear that in Nigeria, it means it is working well. All right. The other thing is when you are delivering really above and beyond, and the bigger names in the industry are copying your ideas. Those who you think are top 2 or top 3 are beginning to offer the kind of things that you do. And they're beginning to, you would know their phrase. They will, if you don't know your value has increased, the market has a way of sending you that information. They will use your taglines. They will begin to subtly say things you say. At that point, they have identified you as a power factor. And yet you are yet to identify yourself. Those are my own personal experience, the time to move your value up. Those are my personal experiences.
Yes, no, thank you. I'm sure there's many more, right? So my simple ones are every 10 customers, raise your price. That's what I do now. Because I'm better, as you just said.
And you love money.
Yeah, no, because I do. Because all the reasons that you said today, it is because it is more reflective. It's not just money. It's not money. It's not money at all. It's value. That's why I look at it.
No, I hear your point. This
if I'm giving more value, then you have to raise your price, right?
Let me say this, Annie. This is what you're saying. I want to come because I know come will have the same opinion. What you're saying is, if I do it for 10 more people, I become 10 times better. It means I have some experience under my belt, and I would rather be the one to set that benchmark. I don't want the market or my customers to do it for me because I want to be the driver. So I get that. I just treat that small job because
it's fine, Coach. It's fine, Coach David. Look, the reason I say I have no qualms about doing that, I used to have a qualm. I was petrified about sort of raising my prices, but now, I realize, it's in my head, and if I'm giving the customers more than before, when I getting forever better, but I think then I can raise my price, right? And they don't argue. But this is a mindset thing. If you ask me, it's a mindset question, really. Do you really believe in yourself? Do you believe in what the value you're giving? Do you know that you know? That's the real question. If you do, then raising your price is not a problem. You know when to raise your price. And I think almost for all of us, it's today, right? It's right now. Raise your price. Apart from you, Sir Stanley, don't raise your price. If I'm paying you, don't raise your price, right? I'm joking. Raise your price. I'll still pay you, right? It's how it is. Tracy welcomes. I was on Tracy's show earlier. Tracy had Sir Stanley on her show as one of her guest interviews. You say connecting. Look, Dr. Paula and Felicia, connect. Everyone here connect with each other, right? That's how things happen on LinkedIn. Events are good to meet, and then after you meet, connect. Have those conversations. That's another smart way of working. Smart way of gaining that visibility that Coach David talked about, where you become more well known and you have to raise your price because supply outstrips demand. Yay! Or demand is
May I add one golden nugget?
Yeah, please, of course.
What I do with my clients is when I create their pricing strategy for them, I create their pricing strategy with the ultimate goal of where we want to go financially. And then I back them into that. So if they don't, then they have some place that they're striving to. So that offer, that premium offer, by the time they get to offer that, they're ready to offer it. And they're excited about offering it because they believe in it. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm working with someone, I'm taking them all the way there anyhow.
Mm.
There's no way we're going to stay where you are. This is where we're going, and this is what it's going to take for you to shift your product, how you think. Everything about you has to change in order for you to get there. Otherwise, you can stay where you are, and
Nothing's going to change. If nothing changes, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Your
exactly.
income-
So you got one or two choices. Pick one.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
it.
See, but this is how we get stuck in that vicious circle that I spoke about earlier, where you don't make more money, and you might make more today, but tomorrow you're going to make less, and it levels out. But if you truly become better, different, and I dare say also, if you think differently, then your chances of making more money is infinite. Your chance of how much can you make, right? Truly. I don't know whether Sean's dying, but I'm sure Felicia was going to say something. Please feel free.
Yes. The way you think, that's another thing when I'm talking about investing in yourself, it's about your mindset. My book that just made bestseller on Amazon is The Investor's Mindset. It's how you think. A lot of people think, oh, I can't have money. And a lot of it is some of them, the way they grew up, their parents didn't have, so they don't think they can have, or it was a scarcity of money. It's different mindsets. And it starts here in your mind. If you want to move in life, you got to get that mind unstuck if you're stuck, and you can start moving and having things, because it starts right there. The first place is here. You got to train that mind.
Truly. I agree with you entirely.
What you're saying is that you need to adapt to having an abundance mindset.
Yes.
Get away from having a scarcity mindset.
Don't dress it up. Let's not dress this up. Hold on,
frame.
Michael. Let's not dress this up. We want more money. That's what I want you to say. I want you to think you want more money every day.
Yeah, but then I keep on thinking about everything that you're talking about, and I want to interject this. I want to interject the question. You keep on talking about limits, and one of my mantras is that there's no such thing as limit. Go beyond the heavens. Because
I
after
agree.
the heavens, there are more. Who agrees with that?
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. Because there's no limit to God. I mean, there's no limit.
100%, Michael. The only ones you have are the ones you put in there that you let stay there. That you let, because some of them we put there, and like Felisa was saying, some of them were put there, the voices we heard and the statements. How many of us heard, we can't afford that? I heard it more than most, because when my parents divorced, child support was $400 for 4 kids.
Wow.
I'll challenge you on that one, because I grew up in state care, and they have never had enough money.
Yeah, you win. I'm not in competition. You win, Annie. But I realized when I started looking at my thoughts that a lot of the limits I've had on myself were because of my experience, the things I was told, the things that I installed, even things that weren't even directed at you. And, when Paula was talking about it, she nailed it. She did.
Yes.
And hopefully she doesn't need a new hat next week, but if she does, okay. I would say you can't just willy-nilly raise your price because you want to. I like the way you said, Annie, 10 new clients, you're amplified, you're doing more. And it exemplifies both what Paula said and what you said. Exemplifies this: when you can stand in more, then that's when you can raise your prices. When you can articulate the transformation, the shift that you deliver, then you raise your price. And there's a lot of checkpoints. Like, if people are saying yes too easy, your price is too low. If you're getting too many no's, you might want to adjust it. And I think about it. If a loved one or yourself needed an emergency life-saving surgery, I guarantee whatever the price They would look at ways to find it. So I can't afford it is just a surface level deflect. It's like batting that mosquito out of your face, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with it. This, I don't see the value in it. I'm okay with the discomfort I'm in where I'm at. That discomfort of spending that money is still greater than the discomfort I feel keep going the way I am. When that discomfort of where I am gets bigger, then price doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Sean, no, always a genius. Look, I think we can't just raise our price willy-nilly. We have to become the person that charges that gets paid more for what we do. That's a realization, right? And so when we become that person, then higher income that's more sustainable, that's consistent, becomes our norm. Then now we have a new baseline, right? Of course, and I've been able to articulate, but I think being able to give more is more the point. And then again, back to Dr. Paula's point earlier, is a conversation we have with ourselves. What do we think we're really worth? That's a different differentiator for sure. Let me welcome Dr. Lisa, a menopause specialist. Glad you're here. Hi to you too. Elizabeth as well. Thank you for joining us. It's an attitude from within, certainly. In an abundance, abundance. It's a mindset. But look, mindset only works when we take action. So I do want to say that what I want to talk about next, I know our time has gone, is can we attract money? I don't want to talk vaguely. I want to talk seriously, right? This thing about those who make money make more money. What is it they think differently to others who don't make money? What's the money? What's the money mindset? No, it's not that. It's what is it that those who make money know, think, and feel? I think it's all of that. Think and Grow Rich covers this very well. Of course it does. The whole book's about this is our point. But in reality, what works for you? That's my question.
Yeah,
Let me show my sponsor's video very quickly, and because otherwise I won't get to show it, and I'll be very upset with myself because those who pay the bills. It's only a 30-second video, so I've mentioned him already. So now find out what he really does. Here he goes. Power thinking is a powerful vessel that we have. So Stanley is much better in his events. He has an event. His events are on Wednesday, so he has a show tonight at 9:30 Eastern. Yeah, 2:30 my time. If you care to join him, or join us, then do connect with him and have a conversation with him for sure. Thank you for sure. Thank you to all my sponsors always. I got many more, so I can't show all of them, right? So let's come back to the question I asked. How do we attract more money?
Can I then just quickly go, Emmy?
Please go for it.
I have to be in another meeting at the top of the hour. It's simple. We are all attractors. We are all attractors. We are all magnetic already. So the question is not can we attract? The question is what are we attracting? Yes, we all attract. Now, money is just a medium of exchange for the value you represent. So you attract what you represent. And you represent. The strength of your magnet is equal to how much you know what you represent. You represent something, And how much you're commanding today is an indicator, a feedback of that thing that you represent. The other thing is, few of us do what I call the mental money program. Mental money program. Everybody has a mental map around money. For example, there's a test I tell everybody: sit down and begin to think about $10,000 in your account or £10,000. Watch your behavior, see that amount in your mind, theoretically, like an image, or pick your checkbook and write it. At what point does your heart, for example, begin to beat faster or slower? For those who are able to use their imagination well, some will say they are dissociated, they rather have the money in their hands. That's fine. This is an experiment. There comes a time when some people start feeling dizzy. When you mention $1.5 million or pounds or 2.5, some people, you notice some physical sensation, meaning that we all have what we are comfortable with. I know people who would never do business that's beyond a certain level because they don't believe that level of business exists. They don't believe. I mean, there's a guy who barbs in Lagos, Nigeria, who charges something like 200,000 naira for each time he barbs. And I know a barber in a neighborhood who told me that's a lie. He said that's not possible. So I took him one day, drove in my car to Victoria Island in Lagos to go and meet the guy. He was afraid when he saw crowd, when he saw people and cars packed. He said, "What?" So first thing he did was to move away from where he was in the remote place, and then he moved and became an apprentice under the guy who barbs for 200K because he barbs for 5,000, something ridiculous, 5,000 naira, something like that. This is some time back when I used to go. And in the area where he was barbing for 5,000 naira, that was a lot of money for him. But he meets someone who does 200,000 naira for what he does 5,000 naira for. What am I saying? We all have a mental program around money. We all have that picture, and it's there. And that picture is what we attract. Amazingly, what we need are people like Paula and people who do financial coaching to help us understand those relationships and the paradigms and perspectives and the mental programs that run us. When we change that software that is running our minds, like Sean said earlier, immediately, it's almost one for one, you begin to see that new level of money as what you can even earn and what is worth your value. I give the mic, and there's been good here. At any point, I'll leave here. Thanks so much. I have to navigate. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us, Coach David, for sure. It is as simple as that. Change your program. You'll be amazed how your income changes. It took me years of denial to understand that. Years. I know. I'm not going to beat myself up, but literally, I refuse to accept the point, Coach David. It is our thinking and our beliefs that truly decides how much money we make in our business. And
I know, just a joke, and then you begin to feel bitter towards anyone that's too rich.
Yeah,
this is fraud. He can't be that rich.
Again, I think Sean said, I think you get resentment when you're sending your invoices, which then just limits your problem. It compounds your problem even more, right? You end up, you stop the money coming, but just by the way we think. Anyway,
some of it is also upbringing and religion.
Yes.
Especially somebody can convince you don't need too much money in life. What are you looking to? Look, just be okay. Just be okay. And you won't know how much that paradigm and the love you have for people make you charge less. And remember, belief is a system. Yep. Belief is not one item, it's a system. A system means there's input, there's output, there are component parts, it's interlinkings. And because belief is a system, money is where the system gives you the indicator. That's the valve. That's where you see the thermometer. So all of your belief system is reflected in how much money comes in and how much your balance is at the end of the day. That system is how much money or value you have in your pocket that you take home. So the bigger point is, if you really want to change or attract more money, the system must change, not just one belief.
I agree. Who wants to go next? Thanks, Coach David. Who wants to go next? Felicia, and I see you were muted, so
I just wanted to ask Coach David where he was at, because in the morning I'm going to find out if I'm going to be going next month to speak at the TEDx in Nigeria. So I might be in Nigeria in about 25 days. And I can't say it. I think it's the 15th of November is supposed to be, I can't say it, Abuja, the capital.
Abuja.
We're both Nigerian,
so I will find out in the morning. I got to talk to the guy in the morning, so I may be there that week doing my first TEDx talk I've been putting in, and he contacted me. So
wow, that's lovely.
I'm praying I get it.
You're gonna get it. Don't worry. You have it. You have it. You have it. That's powerful. I am not in. I'm not in Nigeria.
No. We escaped. You know, we're hiding in England.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to come over there and meet you guys. I want to come over to London, so I'm gonna probably come over.
Please do. Just let's
do that. We'll definitely meet you. I will make the trip.
Annie and I have a restaurant you should visit for beautiful African food. We had dinner there once, and lovely place. I'm in Nigeria on the 20th. If you are there, then we'll meet at that time in November. Then I'll come back early December again if I go end of the year. But please, you're going to enjoy Nigeria. Make sure you don't stay indoors. Make sure you socialize. It's a good place to be.
I have a friend there that may show us around. He's famous there, so
that's cool. That's nice.
He wants to show us around. I don't know. I got to see if my husband want to get around Nigeria, because we don't know.
Enjoy it. That's lovely.
Prepare for something different to what you might expect.
Okay.
So I just came back from Ghana, and I was amazed. True, Ghana. I think Ghana is 100 years ahead of Nigeria, but Coach David says it's not. They're pretty similar. So it's
maybe 75 years ahead. No 100, but maybe something.
It's not bush, and it's not full of shack, but, mansions and luxury that's most people don't see. That's Africa these days. Well done you. So where am I going next? Dr. Paul, are you there? Okay, let's go to Sean. Sean, how do we manifest money? How do we attract money, Sean?
I would say desperation will repel it. It always works. Like I said, I was in that summit, we were talking about sales. And if you come in and have commission breath, you're going to close. You're not going to close this sale. They're going to be like, nope, not right now. But when you can detach, like Paula said it earlier, when she raised her rates and got her confidence, she's like, hey, this is the offer on the table. You take it, great. Here's the price. If you don't, here's a handout, or here's my DIY $99 program. That is a big factor in attracting it. The other thing is if you need the money to validate your worth, you already shot yourself in the foot. And the other thing I would say, I was thinking of this earlier, the bottle of water. If you go to the supermarket and buy a bottle of water, I don't know what it is in the US. Here it's like half a quarter in Guatemala for a bottle of water in the supermarket. You go to the airport, it's like 5 times higher. You get on the airplane, it goes up again. But what changed about the water? So are you in the right places? And the other thing is gratitude. Money doesn't like greed. It loves gratitude. I've adopted the practice. Of course, it's easy. When you get that client, you find some money on the street, you win a lottery ticket, the one ticket you bought, you won $50. You feel good. You're like, yeah, thank you. But what about when you pay the light bill? Do you show gratitude? When you pay your employee payroll, do you show gratitude? I bet most people don't, but I do. Every time I pay my bills, I'm like, thank you, I'm able to pay this bill. Thank you, I have this bill to pay, because it means I got light, I got internet, I got a house. I don't have to sleep out in the rain, because it's rainy season and it rains like cats and lions, not cats and dogs, like cats and lions, to use the African terminology. Lions and elephants here. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, detachment over desperation, gratitude over greed is what I would say.
Look, I think my favorite one has to be happy to pay. Again, that's a lesson I had to learn. I learned that it's a hard lesson to learn, because many people want money, but they're not willing to pay. They want people to pay them. They're not willing to pay, and when they pay, they almost grudgingly pay, almost with resentment. Which is, and so that's one of the biggest blocks, right? It really is. Of course, gratitude every time every time we get a chance to earn. It makes us, it puts us in that place of joy. So Sean, thank you so much. Dr. Paula, share with us. You're like, why am I suddenly big on stage? Because I press buttons, right?
What question am I answering?
How do we attract money to our business? How do we attract more money? Can we attract more money? If so, how?
Well, through my whole financial intelligence philosophy is that our money is in circulation. It's always on its way back. We are money magnets naturally because we offer value. And so just in that energy, that's going to bring it. Now, there are other things you have to put in place with your business and with yourself, and where you position yourself, how you position yourself, and things of that nature that you have to do to be in the room. Just today, I have a couple of partners that we're working on a project, and we increased the pricing for a particular market that we're pursuing. And then we created another price point and another level of the product for another market. And so they sent me an email and said, oh, we need you to look at this because we got two warm leads that want both. So there you go.
So true belief and giving
Agreement.
back. Truly serving clients, doing
Yeah.
what clients really need and want.
Exactly, because we're here to serve our niche market. And if we focus just on our niche market, if we focus just on the people that we're called to serve, that are waiting to hear our voice, that know we're the real deal, and we do too, if we just serve them, we'll be fine. So when we put that together, the three of us, and we were in agreement, all three of us, that this is the best approach to present this to the market, the two markets that we have to go to, we got both of them.
Yeah.
Well, warm lead. I'm expecting them to close the deal.
10 leads, you close 3, you've done well, right? That's I will tell my clients.
I would say whatever you pursue, if you receive a lead and you close it, you've done well. Because it's the price point of the lead. If you pull in a $25,000, $50,000 contract, or even $100,000 or whatever the number is, it doesn't even matter what the number is. When you pull that in, then more is coming.
Yeah.
So we have to learn to rejoice and be excited about the gift we're given each day.
Yeah.
The fact that we could even package something to put in those two markets that last week we didn't even think about. We did it this week at our meeting, and boom, there it is. God is faithful.
And that shows points by gratitude.
Because that's what he does. That's how I see it. Because the only way I see in multiplication and continuing is you got to have faith. Entrepreneurs and people with terminal illnesses are the people that have the greatest faith, because you got to believe God for everything. everything, and I had both, and I'm still here. Okay, I had
If
the
you,
illness, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I know how God will do it.
if you
Okay,
told me 6 months ago you have to have faith, I might have argued with you and said, "Nah, I don't need to believe in God. I can just do what I do." But I know I'm wrong now. I've
yeah.
matured a bit.
Well, that's
Literally.
good. That's good.
It's. But
Because we
I
have to believe in something bigger than ourselves in
yes,
order to
yes.
be able to create that bigger thing that we are called to. We think too small. I know I have thought too small too long.
Same here.
Not
Same.
anymore, but
Mm.
I have. And so when I can partner with individuals that think higher or on the same level, and we're all going together, and that agreement, you know the power of that? It's incredible. It's like a marriage. When you and your husband are in agreement, oh my God, ain't nothing you can't do.
Mm. Yeah. Alignment might be a different word for it, right?
Alignment, agreement, all the same thing. But you got to have a strategy. That
Yeah.
starts with the strategy. Then agreement, alignment, there, we're off to the races.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Lachelle says it's hard work to produce results with clients. Ooh, I might bring that to the conversation. What makes a good client? I do want to have that conversation, I think. Because I think it matters, right? Yeah, you have not because you ask not. I tell you, Sean. Lachelle, I'm trying to save that, but tonight it's on my mind now. So I'll copy that into my list of topics. Sean, I tell you now, this is probably the point I wanted to get to today, where I want to dispel the myth we dare not ask for money. No, but it goes back to Dr. Paula's point. If you have no faith, I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I can't help you, right? You have to have faith and dare to ask the greater powers for more money. And the answer is not going to be a ton of cash on your front door. Let's be honest with this, right? The answer is going to be, to me anyway, the answer I get is always, what can I do to serve more? And it just brings
Right.
more money.
Jim Rohn's quote, right? You help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want.
Exactly.
And I go back to what you said, that lack of faith, Annie, when you were saying the earlier, you were telling yourself, well, they can't afford it. They can't afford it. That's not having faith.
I agree. That's not having faith in me. That's not having faith in how the universe works. Again, Dr. Paula's point that if you're in the right place, talking to the right people, they will pay for what you offer because you can help them, you can serve them, solve the problem, right? And people will be quite happily. Felicia, very patient. I feel for you. I always feel for those who wait patiently. Because when I'm there, I'm like, then I learn some manners, right? Felicia, talk to us. How do you attract money to your businesses, your empires?
Well, my main business is by word of mouth. I believe if you operate in integrity and you're, I mean, on the level, it make over $1 million a year, and it's 21 years old, and we do not advertise. I have work vehicles with our website, and just people tell people about us. And I work for big people like the NBA. When they're in town, they hire us. The Orlando Magic hires. We do a lot of work at the arena with the Kia Center now for them, and they just tell people about us. And we have a lot of hotels like Hilton, Marriott, big name with the hotel industry. We do a lot of work for, and it's all word of mouth. But if you do what you say and don't lie, and if we can't do what you say, because I don't keep a lot of people, I keep my team under 10 people, and the amount of work we get, sometimes it's a lot. But I have people that help us. But I believe integrity is everything. If you walk in integrity, your word is your word. And when you can't meet something, you talk to people. Don't hide and tell lies. And faith, and I've learned something. Most businesses is faith. You have to believe in something bigger than yourself to make it through in business, because we have ebbs and flows sometime with business, especially my main one. So I understand that I believe in God, and He's helped me get to where I'm at and at the level I'm at right now.
Yes, it's amazing. Well done, you. We're definitely going to learn a lot more from you. But I'm trying to avoid that horrible word, so I shan't say it. Be real, be honest. Is what you're saying. That's number
Yes.
one. And that's in what we do, what we say we do, and in our relationships.
Yes.
People that we serve. So that I'll definitely take. Integrity I'll take as well. Do what you say you do. So I tend to bring that around to the idea of mastery. Be good at what you do. Get better. No, get better. Now, what's that saying, Sean? Don't pray that life gets easier. Pray that you get better. That's part of the answer.
Well, and I would stack on top of what, as a business person, yeah, absolutely. Integrity, honoring your promises, your commitments. But the deeper level is honoring the commitments with yourself.
Yes, I agree. So any of those things don't align. Now, I don't know, somehow the customers know. they can feel it, and it comes across, it seeps out, so the 99% or the 1% doubt. They know. People just have, I don't know, maybe it's God that knows and then says, not today, not for this one. I don't think God does that. I think God gives us everything we want, and then we tend to blow it ourselves, right? But it is that knowing and being better and knowing the solution. But that takes work, right? It takes work, so it's constant work to constantly do, constantly improve, constantly be on point. And the point is not us, it's not the money. The point is serving and solving people's problems. Calm. I don't know what you want to add to the conversation at this stage. How do you attract money, my friend?
It's like you said. Service is everything. Focus on that, and the money will come. And be comfortable with what you get. That's all. Be comfortable with what you get, and also understand that be comfortable with also giving away what you get.
Yeah, I like.
Don't hear you, Annie.
Yeah, and I didn't unmute myself. I think the issue of paying bills is one that I struggle with. I have done for years, but I'm getting better. I pay with gratitude. That's essential. I pay gratefully because I can. And when I can't, I find another way. But I think being good payers, being good customers, is related to being a good entrepreneur. I think that goes back to Felicia's point about integrity. You can't say you have a good money mindset when you are begrudging. When every penny you get, it's like, oh, this is going to be the last I'm going to earn. No, it's not. I think maybe this is my addition to this part of the conversation, and we'll say we're going to end it here. I think we have to be confident about money and the potential to get more money. I've learned that money comes, money goes. Now it's a cycle, right? No point me trying to hold on to it for dear life. And if I have to spend money, at least I'm grateful, Sean, that at least I got money to spend. So I remember when I spoke to Mercedes yesterday, I nearly cried. I was like, I can get over it. Yeah, it's money. So what? Pay it. I'm done with it. But I managed to upgrade my car as well. Hopefully my wife's not listening, but she is listening. That's a do, right? I'm saying, that's just how I have to look at it. It's a chance to do something, to have a better car, have more. So same as in business, really. Now, so the one thing I would say to people, my friends, is there's nothing wrong with focusing on money. what you think about Michael, you tell me, is what you become. It's what becomes of your life. Make money part of what you think. I make money part of what I think about every day. Because not because I want more money for the sake of it. I want to serve more to achieve the success that money brings. I said that in the order. I hopefully that's the right order. As Sean said earlier, money does not validate us. Success does. But money comes with success. So don't aim for money, aim for success. And you know what? Strange things happen. Money will come and you'll be like, yeah, great. And now I'm successful. Look, I will thank you all for spending time with us, the audience as well, my friends in the audience. Thank you so much. So do check out Stanley Green's Power Thinking. I'll just connect with him and have a conversation with him if you haven't done so already. Felicia, I tell you, it's a joy seeing you.
Do you have a code for his thing? I put it on my phone and it was asking if you got a code.
I could message him. I could just connect. Let me connect you two in a group chat. How's that? Okay. I'll connect you to the group chat on LinkedIn, and then ask him what you have to ask him. That way, I'm not being a hindrance in between, right?
Okay.
I think he has a code somewhere. I think he gave me the code when I downloaded the app as well. And he doesn't through how the app works. Because he's better in real life, and when you get to meet him in real life and got to come to one of his events, you'd be like, wow, okay, now I know why any goes on about Stanley Green, like he's next to God. It's close to, right? Look, thank you so much, everyone. Thank my speakers. I can't thank you. You make the shows what it is. Felicia, again, the fact you come on first time and come on stage, I'll be forever grateful to you. I really will be. Look, please do share the link for your book, Invest in Yourself. That's one of her books, right?
No, it's in The Investor's Mindset. It's on Amazon.
Okay. Close to.
Let me find it real quick before you shut us down. Are you going to how often do you do these?
This show, Terry, I love you even more now. So Being Your Authentic Self in Business is on every 2 weeks. Most shows are every 2 weeks. Yeah, so every other Wednesday, same time. But tonight, you're on my WhatsApp, so you're going to get invited whether you like it or not, right?
Okay. Well, I'll be on here.
Like all my other shows. Sure, you're not on my WhatsApp.
No, I'm not on. I'm like, what? Am I not pretty enough?
It's not, Michael LeBlanc is on my WhatsApp. So is Michael. So is Coach David. I'm saying there's not, you're as pretty as they are, I promise you.
I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for you, though, Andy.
Go.
Your validation is not in your success either.
No. Tell me about it.
It's right
in your
here.
Soul.
It's in your soul. You are valid as you are. I am valid.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Right?
I'll take that.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Again, it's unlearning this, equating our validity, our value, our worth with stuff out here.
The outside noise. It's within our souls. The whole money thing is, many people look outside and they think it's out there. It's the economy, Sean. It's the government. It's the customers. It's there for but it's within us.
It's everywhere. It's in our. It's our parents just repeated what they heard. The teachers, the school system, the news media. It just keeps telling us the same thing, and we develop these ideas, beliefs.
Yeah.
And Felisa.
Yes. It's Felicia, just spelled different. My mom Phyllis and Mona Lisa, and she put them together.
I like that.
Check out mybook.to.
Hold on, let me finish this right quick since he told me to put it in the
Sean, please put the link in the comments. LinkedIn is playing up, so I'm not seeing Felicia's link to her book.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to make sure I'm putting it in right. I'm trying to get it in before you get off of here.
It's all right. So whether it's going to show up on screen, only God knows, because literally only God knows. Because LinkedIn and StreamYard are not talking very well. They were talking for a while.
Restream's not doing any better, Annie. Restream's not doing any better.
So all that tells us it's a LinkedIn problem. It's on LinkedIn's side, because that's the common denominator, right?
Make sure it came in right.
It
came in right, y'all. If you click on the link or copy it, it'll take you there.
Okay, super. Well, now it's in the comments. It will be there. So I should go and click on it. Well, we're meeting on Saturday anyway. So I'm excited. And now I've met you. I'm even more excited now I've met you as well.
I'm
Sean,
excited that I've met you too.
Is your link in there, Sean? Have you put your link in the comments?
I'm putting it in there. It's not my link, but it's a short link specifically for Amazon books.
Yeah.
You build it once. It's really easy. You get mybook.to/ investor mindset or whatever you put there.
Excellent.
And the beauty is it self-localizes. So if someone in the US puts Felicia's link in, they'll get US Amazon. You in the UK, you would get UK Amazon. It automatically localizes.
Well, my book is
free. It's zero cost.
My book is in 90 countries. It's over in the UK on Amazon. It's all over. He put it in different countries. So
you see, half the problem Sean is talking about is the fact that when people click on Amazon, they go to their Amazon. For you, because your books is on every Amazon, that's fine. For the rest of us, someone will basically message me and say, "Oh, I can't buy your book because it's on .co.uk. It's not on .com. All my books are."
But the other advantage is instead of having to remember though, Amazon.com / blah 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 blah, you get one easy link. mybook.to/
on
greatest hits.
So on book launch day, I give them a one link, maybe not from the book.io, but it's from somewhere. From somewhere else, right? And that way, it shows them all the Amazon stores. Click on your link, click on the local store, buy the book. That's how it works, right? But anyway, look, my friends, we'll get to talk more books on Friday if you want, right?
Okay.
Well, enjoy your night. Thank you so much. You have made my day. Literally, you have made my day. It's not literally. You have made my day. Thank you so much.
Love you, Annie.
Enjoy your night. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success.